All right. Go ahead, Mars.
Testing, testing.
Okay. We're good.
Yay!
We're
All
back
right.
live. Sorry about that, everybody. Um, okay. So again, talking crit, talk to TTRPG, D&D, anything related. I'm here with Mars from Weep and Wick. Mars, if you want to introduce yourself, please.
Yes. Okay. So my name is Mars. I am creator of Weeping Wick, which is a soy-based candle company that focuses mostly on just fantasy, like anything fantasy, TTRPG, cozy vibes. That's us. And that's me.
Awesome. So we actually got to know Mars from, I think it was from one of the giveaways that we did. You had reached out to us and like super generous. We're willing to throw in a few candles just to kind of help boost the the giveaway and get some extra eyes on it and help bring attention to us, bring attention to you. I mean, we were super happy that you were willing to jump in. Um, and the Winterhold the Winterhold candle that you had sent to us, and we were just talking about before we kicked the stream off. But I know that my wife, she burned about half of it just when she would sit and read and stuff, and then because I work from home and she doesn't, I kept it on my desk just while I was working, and I burned through the rest of it. And I've never been a big candle person, but having it be a little like focused, and especially that one was based off of Skyrim, and I fucking love Skyrim. Like just played hours and hours and hours, and that's actually the one video game that I was ever able to get my wife to get into playing was Skyrim. So I
Mhm.
was pretty pumped about that. But one of the first things I wanted to ask you was what kind of came first for you, if it was the candle thing or if it was TTRPG, Skyrim, and that kind of fantasy related stuff.
Okay. Uh, it's a bit of a tricky question because the whole candle thing did come about the pandemic. So 2020, I wasn't doing a whole lot of anything aside from playing Skyrim. I think I spent, okay, a little ashamed to say, during the pandemic time, about 8 hours a day playing Skyrim. And I realized, okay, this is not sustainable. I have to do something that, like, kind of like, gets me out of like my little cave, if you will. So I was like, candle making. That sounds cool. I started doing that, and I did not have a name for what I was doing. It was just making candles for fun. And then everybody kind of liked my candles. I started thinking, like, maybe I should make a business. What would I call it? And immediately my first thought was to go back to the Skyrim shops, like the Beetle and the Bard and all of those like little shops that they have. And I was like, Weeping Wick sounds like something you'd find in there. And that's kind of how the idea came about. Even though it wasn't serious, that was just what I was calling my candle thing, Weeping Wick.
No, that's cool, and we liked the name like right from the beginning. Like the first time that
Yeah.
you messaged us, I was like, "We've been Wick." I was like, "Oh shit." For like a candle company, I was like, "That's actually kind of cool. Like it works."
Yay.
Um, but that's cool that it kind of all, I guess, kind of came together, not so much simultaneously, but that one kind of happened right after the other.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Thank you. Dice earrings.
um, but I know for a fact, but for the four of us, we all loved playing Skyrim. Skyrim came out when me and Austin were like junior seniors in college. So kind of
Okay.
like for what you were saying during COVID, where you kind of have a lot of free time, it was like our senior years of college where it's like you have one class in the morning and then you're just sitting around all day. We were probably sitting around playing Skyrim. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so this was one of the things I wanted to ask you about Skyrim specifically, actually, because I knew you had one of the candles that was based on Skyrim. So when you're playing Skyrim, what is your favorite type of build? Like the favorite type of character, race, or what type of combat you like?
Okay, I feel like that's not a fair question because I think once you play Skyrim for so many hours, you just start playing everything and anything at that point. But with that being said, I think my most favorite character, which I definitely have like some sort of soul tie to, is he was a Khajiit. His name was Shobasa, and he
Okay.
was the leader of the Thieves Guild. And I made him very particular where he did not do any magic. In his backstory, he had some sort of thing with magic way back when, so he doesn't touch any of that. So he was a dual wielding, only daggers Khajiit, and that was my
Okay.
thing.
So like fast, quick combat, in and out kind of character.
But with that character, because I do go back and forth. I love this is my most recent playthrough. I did want to like do a bit of a challenge, so I did a Breton, and she's not allowed to touch any tools. Her only weapon is magic, and it's been really really hard and more hard, I suppose, since my it's on my Xbox 360. It broke, so I haven't touched her since. But she's waiting.
Nice. Ugh, yeah,
Ready?
that's Matt and Chris in the chat.
And
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm not asking you guys. I know that your answers would have been. Matt's thing is always two-handed
heavy
Warhammer.
armor two hand is the right answer. I don't think so, dude. But like, okay, take this and then like, oh, dual wield. Wow. Now we're going someplace.
So
Oh
my
my.
my favorite thing is always Sword and Shield. That's always my go-to.
Is it? Wait, what is this in the chat though? What is this?
So that is going to what you were just saying when you've played Skyrim so many times. So this was um, Matt had gotten back into it kind of recently with all the mods and everything that are
Mm-hmm.
on it now. And I hadn't played Skyrim in years, and I didn't want to go through it and play it the same way that I had played it over it because I've done all different types of playthroughs. Um, so I wanted to try and, and just go in and play and just make as much money as possible without doing like a combat-based character. So I made a character just to be a merchant and just went back and forth buying and selling, and it was fun for a little while, and then I just kind of got bored and went off of it. But
No, I love that.
I
I've done
did.
something similar. Um,
Chris, shut up.
me more so with like building. Like I know like there was like this one thing I read online somewhere where I was like, okay, if you're building something, you have to take like 3 days in between like building these things. So I would be like, I get my ore, I'm like making a house. I have to wait 3 days now. Sure. Could be three in-day games. No. These are three real life games. And then come back and do my stuff. It was a whole thing. It's just again, if you play Skyrim for that long, you know. I do
Yeah,
have a Skyrim tattoo, but it's on my foot, and I feel like I can't show that for free.
understandable. That's cool though. I do not have any I have a lot of like, I do have it like a sword and shield gladiator tattoo because that's like kind of my go-to for any, whether it's like D&D or any kind of game that I start. The first character I create is always sword and shield, always defensive kind of character first, and then once I play through it, then I go through all the other million things.
Hmm.
Just like Matt was saying, and again, like I mentioned before, Matt's my little brother, so I know his first character in any game is always gonna be with some big crazy two-handed weapon.
Two, yeah,
Yeah, always, always, always. But that's very cool that even in video games, like you come up with a whole backstory for your character, and like that's
always.
oh, that's awesome. As far as the candle making goes, because I really don't know anything about what goes into like making an actual candle. I know you light it and it smells good, and that's but as far as like
Yes.
putting a candle together, can you kind of without going through like the entire, because I'm sure it's super time consuming, but just give me a basic idea of what goes into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure every creator kind of has like their own process. But too long didn't read kind of basis. It's essentially just your wax, your scents, and what have you. With my particular wax, I use soy wax, 100% soy wax. And then as
Okay.
far as the scents go, they are always non toxic, no Prop 65 warning, platelet free. So there's that. And that's essentially it. It's honestly like the whole core of candle making isn't too difficult. It's just the timing of everything that makes it a little bit tedious. So like you have to pour at a certain temperature, pour at a depending on what you're pouring actually, pour at a certain temperature, and then the scents go in at a certain temperature, things like that. But candle making was something that I was honestly really, really bad at when I first started. And it wasn't until maybe 2 years later where I really kind of got into the science behind it.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have never thought about the science. So when it comes to like putting like a scent together, like what it goes, because I know I saw one of your reels where and you're just joking, but talking about how like you kind of get different inspirations as you're messing with different scents and trying to figure out
Oh, for
what you.
sure.
So
For sure. I
do you,
guess.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. Usually, I have the name before I even have like the scent profiles. I'm not gonna go too much into it before it's official, but I am currently working on a whole collection of candles for a particular D&D campaign. And so with that, I was just kind of given notes of like the culture of certain places and just kind of playing with that. So I just had names of what these continents within this D&D realm were, and I was just kind of working with that. What would this place smell like to me, not knowing anything about it? And then, of course, once we start getting to the specifics, then we start adding, like, oh no, it smells a little happier. Maybe we add some effervescence. So just kind of things like that. I usually start with the name and then just branch out.
That's
D&D
awesome.
candles.
That's really cool. It's
Yeah.
just like another level of immersion for playing, like playing D&D,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
for us, we go back and forth constantly about what we can do to I mean really just to up the immersion of our game, because I mean I've mentioned this before, but we literally started our first session like on my kitchen table with nothing except like loose leaf and dice, and it's
Love it.
every session. Chris, Chris is
Hold on, I got my
asking.
glasses. Can you make a Baldur's Gate? Send me the notes. Send me the notes of what you think it would smell like, and I guarantee you I
It don't don't encourage him because he'll come up with some kind of crazy shit.
can.
Um, but that's honestly not something that we probably would have thought of on our own, is the smell of the room, as far as the immersion goes. But it's we're definitely gonna have to hit you up for some more candles, because it's like I said, for us it's been, we're always trying to think of ways to, whether it's the way that we lay out the board or I mean we've known each other for so long, so we kind of bicker back and forth like little kids sometimes.
Mhm.
But we were arguing just the other day about what type of minis we want to use, because most of the minis we have right now are combat based, whether they're NPCs or not. They're, knights or archers or whatever. So we're like, okay, whenever we go into a tavern, it just seems like there's an army sitting in the tavern. So
Mhm.
we're saying we
Mhm.
want to just get commoner minis, and some of us are saying like, no, it doesn't matter. Just throw minis on the board, and it's just, I mean, that's part of what's fun about it, at least for me, is just working on it. Like, okay, what can we do to make it better? And I mean, Chris and Chris's wife have been super gracious to let us basically turn his basement into our dungeon, which has been very cool. Shout out
Right.
Loopy Liana if she's if she's on here.
Yay.
Um, but as far as actually playing D&D, because I know I saw. So are you affiliated with a live play group now, or it's just somebody kind of in your area? I'm blanking on the name of the group.
No,
That you.
not a live play group per se. I do play D&D like here with an. We do it at my house because I have a big table.
Nice.
Thank you. We do it every 2 weeks here, so it's really casual. I have done like I did a live combat session one time at this one group we have, but that's about it.
Nice. Um,
Yeah.
there's one at. This is gonna bother me now. I can't think of the name. I know you've collaborated with them on Instagram before, and you've done candles with them. This is gonna bother me. Um,
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. Um,
That could be anybody.
but so you said you do the games at your house. Do you run the games, or are you a player?
Oh God, no, I'm a player. No, no. Thankfully, we have a really experienced DM that is willing to come down and do it for us. And as much as I think it, okay, to me, being a DM sounds great in theory, but I just love causing chaos, and I don't think I could do that. Okay, as effectively from my perspective as a DM, because I realize the DM causes chaos in his own realm
Yeah.
enough. So
Okay. Forever DM.
yes,
That's what it is. So
yes, Chris, we'll love him.
that's the DM that you play with on a
Yes.
regular basis.
Not like he doesn't come to my house, but I have played with Chris before. I went to his house recently. Super fun. Crazy dungeon.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Just from seeing
Yeah.
like the pics, I know we follow him, but I haven't dug into his setup all too much. But it looks like he's got some crazy stuff um,
Yeah.
going on over there. The table that he has, I'm not sure, but it looks kind of like a table. Have you ever heard of the Weathered Dragon?
Of course.
See, he's from Long Island.
Oh,
Um,
is he?
yeah, so we met him there at a local Long Island TTRPG show, like right here, probably
Okay.
15 minutes away from where we live. And like we got to see his table in person, and like he was showing it to us and all the different parts, and we were just kind of like fangirling
Mhm.
at it
Mhm.
because at that point I mean we play on just like a plastic kind of like outdoor table.
I
It
feel
looks
you.
nicer because we have like a
Feel
black
you.
tablecloth and our maps on it. Um, but yeah, Mike from the Weather Dragon, he was so cool, and we were.
Mhm.
I mean, that was when was that? That was back in February or March. That convention was, and like at that point, we had only been a thing for a couple months, and he's been around, he's established. I mean, we met so many awesome people there. Which I mean, and it's not like you're from the middle of nowhere either. You're from a populated area too, so it's cool being around other different creators and stuff like that, where it's kind of easy to bump into them.
No, of
Um,
course.
I don't know if you've heard of Team Drew's Basement also.
Yes, yes. Both of them, the Weather Dragon and Team Jews, were both at Mysticon, which is where I was familiar with them. So I did get to like go around, say hi, have a nice little chat, and they're both really cool dudes. Really grateful to
There's
have met them. So definitely, this space is just it's such a welcoming space, honestly.
It's been really cool. So
Mm.
Team Drew is not even 10 minutes away from where I'm sitting right now.
Dang, he made the trip.
Yeah. No, he's also a Long Island guy. I mean, he's been running his one of his campaigns for almost 30 years, which is like he's got a 28-year campaign that he's been running.
I
And
love that.
it's but it's that's kind of like what you just said. Like anyone that we've bumped into doing this, like we've been playing D&D in total for not even 2 years, and
Hmm.
we'll bump into somebody, like Drew from Team Drew's Basement, who's been doing it forever and like knows all the ins and outs of it. And we'll message him every once in a while when like Chris has a DM question or we have a question about streaming or any of this stuff, and he's always been so nice, and he'll just say like, yeah, like shoot me whatever questions you guys have anytime. I don't care. Like it's just it's different from some of the other spaces like with other hobbies that at least that I've gotten into where it can be
Hmm.
a little more clicky. This has been, and hopefully, like you said, I hope that's been your experience with it too.
Agreed. No, for sure. I feel like, I mean, I don't really have a lot of other hobbies to compare it to, but I mean, the space that I have been in within my own like D&D realm, everyone has been so super helpful. No one's ever been like judgmental, like, oh, you don't know all of the dice, because I still don't know to date. I'm so spoiled with like the online dice that I don't even have to think about it, right? And I know that sounds horrible, but when I was doing like the live combat, I was like D6. Let's think for a second. Then grab the D6. But no one has ever been negative by any means at all. Everyone's always just been like, "Oh my god, you're playing. We're hyped. Fantastic. You're part of us now." And I love that.
Yeah, I mean that's really been our experience too.
Mhm.
Um, but like I mentioned before we got started, we're lucky that we've all known each other. I mean, we're a super tight group. It really makes it easy for us to anything that we want to like explore or dig into. Like we know that I don't want to say there's no judgment because we definitely judge each other really hard, but like we know that we're all tight no matter what. So it makes it really
Yeah.
easy to dive into different kind of crazy shit that like when we started our first campaign at level 3, and the first came I DM'd the first ever campaign we did. Like so we started with loose leaf and just kind of we wung it and saw how it went, and then Austin went, and then Chris just got the lucky like roll of the dice that his first time DMing was going to be live streaming on Twitch, like for people to watch. So like Chris has never DM'd before.
Gary,
Yeah. So
no.
any of the clips or anything, like I said, if we have 15 people watching us or whatever the number happens to be that night, like watching Chris DM.
50?
No, no, not 50.
50.
15. No, not 50. So like I would
15
love
is
that.
a lot. Like,
Um,
imagine 15 people coming up to you right now behind your shoulder and they're like, "What are you doing?" That's a lot of people.
See, for me, I would be like, yeah, like come check it out. Like I'm talking to like this
No.
Mars, like she makes candles in California that are also have to like I would be so pumped about that.
Ugh, I'd be pumped but also like, look at the candles. I'd be like, "Here are the candles. I'm gonna go."
No, but it's I think we have a good mix of that too. So Matt in our group is he's definitely more introverted and if anybody has like followed we usually do stories like a couple days leading up to when we have our live play sessions and I'll jump on one day and just say a reminder, talk, whatever for a few minutes. Chris will do it, Austin will do it. Matt, he did it once at the beginning. He refuses to put up stories of himself talking. He'll go on the live stream and he'll do funny shit but it's nice because we have uh, I mean at least I think we have a nice mix of different personalities and just kind of makes it fun. Um, but
That's
as
what makes the
far
best group opinion.
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
I said that's what makes the best group in my opinion. When you just have so many different personalities. Sometimes they clash, but that's we're here for the plot. We're here for the plot.
No, I agree 100%. So I was actually I was on like just messing through Instagram today, and somebody just posted a question asking about like the what your favorite Nat 20 situation was, like any role that you did, or so I wanted to throw that out to you and see like what's your favorite. Yeah, I would either Nat 20 or since we're crit one and done, your favorite crit fail or your favorite Nat 20 that's happened to you.
I was hoping you would ask this question because I do have a story prepared. So, it's a bit of a long one, but in our campaign, I am playing a rogue, and my in-game brother is a Kenku. He's a sorcerer. So, long story short, we go back to the orphanage that we grew up at. We're fighting this. In my description, which is the description I got, was like a really beefed up kind of cat sorcerer thing. Anyways, and we're like there to
Okay.
save the kids. We get caught in the process, and I have a forgery kit and a disguise kit. So we both disguised ourselves, and I forged a whole letter, and both of us rolled nat 20s on the deception checks as we get caught as to what we're doing here. And so we're both now inspectors of the Ministry of Orphanages. And like the face that our DM had, because we had both nat 20s, and he was just like, he's like, he doesn't fully believe you, but he's willing to accept it. And so we kept rolling high rolls as we're just eating our ways through this orphanage, and like it just gets more chaotic because our DM hates it because it doesn't make sense story wise that they just keep leading us like, oh wow, like those beds are not 6 inches apart from each other, and we just that was my favorite moment. I think about it all the time.
No, that's awesome. I love shit like that. Like
Yes.
that's so that's one of the things that I like about our group too is that we all kind of DM differently. I love shit like that. Like where it's just if you're roll high, like sucks to suck. Like that's what's gonna happen if you want to deceive somebody about you're the inspector of orphanages or whatever. Like, listen, man, I've rolled a fucking nat 20. It's happening. That's
Yeah,
that's
they got
that's
an
who I
app,
am
by
now.
the way.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love that kind of stuff. What about crit fails? Anything that sticks out?
Nothing that sticks out because honestly, I feel like I'm kind of cursed at the table. I do have bad rolls a lot of the time. But actually, on that note, really quick, that's kind of where the Weeping Wake idea came from. It was when I died during one of the one shots, and we were all just kind of lighting candles around our little dead characters. And we're like, this is a vibe. What if we make this a scented vibe? And I didn't even mention that at the beginning, but that's kind of like where the idea came from, too.
No, that's cool. I love that. I mean, that's we haven't had that happen a whole lot. We haven't really had characters die yet, but just to me
Horrible.
and like the types of I mean anything, stories and movies and stuff like that, to me there's like nothing more powerful than when like you have a good character and it's like the character gets killed or does something heroic and dies and it's just like it's like, always to me it's like that's such a like a powerful moment like there's no way around it and we just The we actually got close to it happening with Austin's character in my campaign. Um, he got Austin because he was playing a barbarian and he got killed like in a gladiatorial arena, and
Oh,
like resurrected by Helm, and it was like this. We turned it into this whole big thing. Um, but that was getting back to Nat 20s, and I know I've mentioned this before, but I'm gonna mention it again because it's just another like ridiculous like fun thing that happened. But he was we're
oh,
talking about our current campaign.
baby. I should wear my glasses, I swear. I'm like, not saying that in a good way. What would be like the insulting way? Can you put that in a phrase?
I think he's saying that he so all the Austin is currently
Oh,
playing a
I
rogue,
see.
kind of like you were just saying, but Austin's rogue is just stacked. The way that he has his rogue built, like he
Mm-mm.
can't roll under a 25 on deception checks, on stealth checks, on just the way that he has it built. So
OP.
we're also at level 17 right now, so all of our characters are crazy. Yeah. But that's what I
Wow.
was kind of saying. We like to do things differently. So like Chris's campaign, we started at level 10 because we've never played high level characters before.
Right.
We're so my campaign that I'm gonna start with, I'm starting everybody at level 1. Like it's gonna be a very like grounded,
No.
brutal campaign.
No.
Like I'm having everybody make 2 characters to start with in case their first one dies. Like it's we're
You should just make it like super like archaic, like no weapons, fists only.
I would 100% do that, but the guys would they would never go for that.
Come on.
Like I would 100% be down to like I love survival video games and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like I would 100% do like okay, the campaign starts almost like the movie Waterworld, but like okay, you're stranded on an island. There's nothing on the island. It's just ocean. Okay, go ahead.
You
What do you
thought
do?
about this. I feel like
I
you
would
thought about this.
I would love to do that. I would absolutely love doing like a survival campaign.
Oh,
The
no,
guy,
that
but
sounds lit. I had a friend that wanted to do, so we're big on rock climbing, like my friends and I. She wanted to do a rock climbing campaign, which in theory sounds cool, but it would honestly just be like a bunch of like athletics checks,
yeah,
which after a minute would be like,
yeah,
all right, you know, like Monopoly at that point.
yeah. No, 100%. But yeah, the whole survival aspect of it to me is would be so cool. Like me and Matt have been playing a video game called Stranded Deep. I don't know if it's basically
Mm-mm.
you get dropped on a like it's the movie Castaway but like in a video game.
Okay.
Almost like to a T. That's what it is. Like I love shit like that, but the guys would never go for it. I'm having a hard enough time getting them on board to do like a low magic kind of campaign. Because everything we've done up until this point has been like high fantasy kind of stuff set in Faerun. Um, okay, another question. Um, Baldur's Gate. Yes, no. You've played it a ton. You've played it a little.
I have not played it, but I have seen my boyfriend play it, and it looks super fun. I feel like it's right up my alley. Anything armor and like a little bit of like a sunset background, I'm there.
Yeah,
But I haven't played it.
would definitely recommend. That's kind of how we started all of this. Was Boulder. That's so me and Matt had heard of Dungeons and Dragons, like we knew what it kind of was, but we had never even really looked into it until we started playing Baldur's Gate, and then
Mhm.
we were just kind of like, what the fuck is this? This is so fun. Austin had played a little bit, and Chris had played a little bit, like back in the day, I think. And as soon as I had mentioned it to Austin, I'd call him like, "Yo, like, have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons? Like, would you want to ever?" He was like, "Dude, hell yes." I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, I guess we're doing it. But especially if you're into Skyrim, if you're into any of that, like, especially if you're into D&D, 100% you have to play Baldur's Gate.
Oh, that's what I've heard. The same thing with Dragon Age Inquisition, I believe it was. I wanted to play that so bad, but I'm so bad with like buying video games. Like it's one of those things where it's like I have to be in the mood for it. Like with Skyrim, I was in the mood for it for like a good 4 years, nonstop. I have not had an itch like that since. But gosh, I want to play it. I really do. It's on my list for sure. I know there's another off topic, real quick. A mermaid
Yeah.
game. coming out that is like almost a prehistoric mermaid game.
I
I'm
have not
hyped.
heard of
I'm hyped for that.
I have not heard of the prehistoric mermaid
Oh, I'm here for it.
game. Do you know what it's called?
No, no. I'll send you
Uh,
the link when I find it again.
yeah, I'm just putting it in the chat.
Oh, no worries.
I have not heard about the
The
prehistoric mermaid
prehistoric.
game.
I think it's still like in the production phase because it's still only ads. But the way that they make it look like it's a little bit dusky and murky, maybe a little polluted in the water, and like there's this mermaid just swimming ever so ominously, and I'm like, oh, right up my alley.
I'm sure now that like I have my phone sitting next to me, now that my phone like heard you say it, I'm sure
It's gonna come up.
I'm gonna get nothing but ads for it.
Yes.
Uh, Especially if Chris is saying he hasn't heard about it either. Chris, I know, is a big like a big gamer too. If he hasn't heard about it, we're gonna have to do some
Ah, I have to
research.
send you the link. But
Yes.
do you actually have a favorite D20 moment? D20, not 20 moment.
Oh yeah, so I actually didn't even say it. I was gonna say it a few minutes ago. Um, so mine was during my campaign, this barbarian character, Crixus, that Austin was playing. The whole party ended up in this like gladiatorial arena doing this big whole like this one combat took us a whole like 4 hour session. Um, but Austin's character, if he's still in here, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was wielding like a big mace and he like killed somebody and like part of him killing him, I was like, okay, you smash the mace like right across his cheek, teeth, blood go fucking flying everywhere. And Austin like immediately was like, I want to catch the tooth. It's like you said, just random crazy like, but like
Yes.
immediately as I was like describing it, he was like, I want to catch the tooth. And I was like, okay, roll acrobatics. And he rolled like a 19 or something high. And I was like, you catch the tooth. He was like, I eat the tooth. I want to eat the tooth. And I was like, okay, roll constitution. And he rolled a nat 20. And I was like, you take the tooth, you ingest it, and it goes down just like anything else you've ever eaten. No problems. You just eat the fucking tooth.
I feel like I
We
knew where this was going before you got there.
we actually had him rename his character in D&D Beyond as Crixus Eater of Teeth. And like that's what his character was known as for the rest of the campaign
Love
was
that.
Eater of Teeth. But like to me that's the kind of shit that makes D&D so fun is that
Mhm.
you can do I mean, or you can try to do, I mean, literally whatever you want. Like if you want to jump off a building and when me and Austin talk about this all the time, like how much leeway do you have with a nat 20? And I was like, if I'm DMing, you can try to do whatever the fuck you want. Like, I don't care if
Mhm.
if you're on a building and you say I want to jump across the street to the other building, go ahead. Like, if you're rolling at 20, like you're not gonna jump across a street from building. Like, maybe you land on the front lawn and you do a roll and you don't take any damage. It's like you're not gonna fly all of a sudden, but like as long as it's within the realm of possibility, like I'm gonna give you a shot. Like that's
Yeah.
I mean, to
With
me,
that being
that's
said, I do have a question.
yeah, go ahead.
So, this is just bringing up my own experience because I have played D&D with this one guy who, bless his heart, during one of our sessions, did spend half an hour during our little time across a boat. It wasn't even that long of a trip in D&D hours. Anyways, and every time it was his turn, it was long story short, he spent the whole half hour to 1 hour fishing while there was a battle ensuing. And it's just like, I get it. You can do anything in D&D, but I will never forget that day.
See,
Have
I
you
would.
encountered a moment like that?
So we haven't had anything like that inside of combat. But during Austin's campaign, Matt was playing a druid, and Austin's campaign, the last one that he did, took place in Ten Towns, which is like an Arctic area of Faerun where it's really just like ice and mountainous and there's really not much around. And we were low level. We started that campaign at level 3, and Matt was getting annoyed because he only had a couple things he could wild shape into. So throughout the sessions, he would just say, "I'm going out into the woods. I want to find some animals." And Austin would say, "Okay, roll investigation, roll nature," and Matt would roll like a 2, or he'd roll like a 4, and Austin would be like, "It's a frozen forest. There's you see a bird off in the distance, or you see a snow hare like going into the ground, like." And that's it. But that was just like a recurring theme. Like anytime we were going from place to place, like Matt would always, "I'm going in the woods. I want to see some animals."
Oh
And
man.
it was, I don't think he, I mean, for all the times he did it, I really don't think he ever found anything interesting. But that whole campaign, he kept trying to find something interesting that he could wild shape into.
Dang.
But that was, but
The
see, to
heart
me, like,
rate.
that would still be funny. Like, if, I mean, it would depend on the character. Like, if your character is like a knight and this and that, and you're like, oh, he's gonna go fishing. It's like, okay, then I would maybe roll my eyes and be like, are you sure? But like, if the character was like a goofy fisherman and there was some fight breaking out and he was just like, didn't know what to do, and was like, I'm just gonna fish because that's what I know how to do. But
I know.
your
It
guy
was just
fucking goes fishing.
horrible. Yeah, our DM made a choice during that campaign. So where like for whatever reason, our enemies could not see the guy fishing. Like, oh, he's fishing, he's not a threat. He can keep fishing, and we're all just dying. And he's like, I'm gonna put another worm on my hook. Ugh. If you're listening to this, Eric, I think about that.
Yeah, but I can appreciate that. Like I like random shit like that. That's to me that's the best part of, or one of the best parts of D&D, is that you can just go off and kind of do whatever you want.
For
Like
sure.
that was really what that was what interested me in actually playing the game from the beginning, was that like once we started looking into it, I was like, because I really didn't understand what it was. I thought it was like Baldur's Gate, where it was like a game. So I started looking into like, okay, well, how do I download D&D and like play D&D like as if it was like a video game or something.
Yeah.
And then I started actually reading about it, and I was like, oh shit, like no, that's not how it works. And then once I
Oh,
kind of got into the like how the gameplay worked, and I was like, shit, so you can actually do whatever you want, and it's just kind of up to whether the DM is gonna let you or how you go about it. I was like, shit, that's kind of cool. Like I want to try that,
right, right.
but it ended
I
up
had a
working out.
similar story, which is horrible.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, well, like with mine's a bit. I don't know. It was a bit weird. So I started playing D&D because my boyfriend at the time was into it, and so we're hanging out. I want to make a good impression. I want to play D&D, and I hated it, or so I thought. So comes it. What had happened was our DM was not the best of DMs, but that was my first DM, so it was all I ever associated with it.
Okay.
So I'm telling my boyfriend, I'm like, hey, I don't think I'm a big fan of like D&D. Like it's not my vibe. I think I hate it. And he's like, I think you're wrong. Let's try a different DM. And well, it's been 4 years now. So, and it's crazy to think that like had it not been for the DM that changed my kind of outlook on what D&D was, I just would have never picked it up again. And Weeping Wake might have never been what it is today too. So it's wild. DMs are extremely important, and I think they deserve way more credit than what we give them now.
Except for Chris.
Okay,
Chris.
for sure.
No, but I mean, it's again, we're definitely appreciative that Chris was willing to go like under the knife and to fucking jump into
Yeah.
the experiment with us. But yeah, it is. I mean, it is crazy how much control like the DM has, and I mean,
Hmm.
we've kind of been lucky that it's just been us. We've actually, the only other DM that I've ever played with is Judah. I'm not sure if you know him. He has a
Hmm.
podcast called One Shot D&D. Me and Austin did a one shot with him. Chris. Me and Austin did a one shot with him. I want to say like 5 or 6 months ago. That was really fun. That was our first time ever playing like not at a physical table. Because he does a podcast. Oh shit! What up, Sam? Uh, Dungeon Samster just he was so shout out Dungeon Samster. He was the first episode of Talking Crit that I did with so he's also a DM. He was the one that Sam, I was telling her about you and how we spent a good amount of the first episode of Talking Crit talking about Lord of the Rings and
Oh,
just kind
lovely.
of so what's going on, Sam? Um, but yeah, just it's I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. So we'll shout out Judah from One Shot D&D to me and Matt are actually playing a mini campaign with him right now. That's been very cool. Like a Louisiana Bayou, like crime noir kind of mini campaign.
I love that. Lately, I have been loving like campaigns that are just kind of out of the ordinary. I recently, okay, I didn't go back because it was just not my vibe, but I did show up to like just a trial of their new D&D campaign, and someone had told me that this has been done before, but I'm not too familiar with like, the mainstream whatnot. Anyways, with this D&D campaign, we're in high school and we're in a dream and we have to like escape. And I was just like, look, I graduated high school a decade ago. I don't want to do this again, which is why I didn't return. But like just that sort of realm, like just things outside of the ordinary, which I did appreciate because that was
Yeah.
a really unique idea, just not for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. Like
Yeah.
definitely cool idea. Like someone wants to go do that, I'm sure it would make an interesting,
Right,
fun
right.
campaign. That would probably not be for me either.
Same. I was like, I don't know.
But the whole like 1950s like Louisiana Bayou kind of thing, like
Yes.
especially for me and Matt, like our mom is from New Orleans, like grew up in Louisiana, so like we kind of have like a Cajun kind of background. So we
Okay.
both made like backwoods swamp like like gator hunter kind of characters. So that
Bye.
that's been kind of fun. Um, okay, so one of the other things I wanted to ask you, or before I even ask you that, so how many campaigns have you played through at this point? And you said you've been
Oh,
playing D&D for 4 years. So for
okay.
some people that could be one campaign. For some people that could be,
Okay. So, two main campaigns completed. Currently on my third campaign, which has gone on for 3 years now. We
oh
are
shit. Okay.
finishing. We are literally 4 sessions away from finishing, and it's the longest campaign. I am very heartbroken. It's very bittersweet. As far as one shots, maybe I'm gonna go with the confident five one shots for sure. I'm
Okay.
definitely a newer D&D player, especially 4 years sounds like a lot, but then I meet players who are like, I've been playing since 1986, and I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit! So I'm such a baby compared to them.
No, I mean, and you have more experience than all of us at Crit One, at Crit
No,
101.
no way, no way.
We've been we have in total less than 2 years of D&D experience. Like we all started less than 2 years ago.
Oh
Um,
shit! How
what
do
was
you
I
guys
gonna ask
feel?
you?
Do you love it or what?
I mean, we enjoy it quite quite a bit.
Changed your life, huh?
Yeah, it changed Chris's basement, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was gonna ask you is if you have a preference versus like high fantasy versus realistic, or like different people phrase it different ways, high magic, low
Mhm.
magic, or like high fantasy versus like a grounded kind of campaign. Do you have a preference one way or the other?
I do. I do. I love the farther it gets from reality because I feel like,
Okay.
I mean, I can't speak for all of us, but I think some of us would agree that the reason why we play D&D is like some sort of like immersive escapism, and that's kind of what we want. I want to fly on dragons. I want to punch a goblin. I want to hang out with an ogre, and that's the kind of vibe that I'm looking for. I can be grounded now, not when I'm playing my game.
No, that's cool. I mean, and that totally makes sense. Um, I c- See, I don't even know if I've played enough D&D to even be able to answer my own
Yes, you
question, but
have.
but it's more just a curiosity for me because all of our campaigns up to this point have been high magic. Like they've all
Mhm,
taken
mhm,
place in favor. Like I'm playing a draconic sorcerer right now. Like Chris played a cleric, and we've always done like heavy magic stuff. So that's
mhm.
kind of why with the campaign that I'm going to be running, I wanted it to be a little bit more grounded, a little bit more low magic, where there is magic there, but it's almost more for like industrial purposes to like keep the city running, more so than like there's just people slinging spells around in the streets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
I do
so
think that kind of makes it harder and honestly a bit more exciting in my opinion because people are kind of forced to think outside the box, right? And like use their other skills.
Yeah, that fucking hits in the, that's like to a T why I wanted to do it this way.
Exactly.
Because I, especially like with Chris's campaign, it's been really fun playing high level characters, but it's almost like it's to the point where like my I just learned the spell Meteor Swarm, which is
Mm.
crazy powerful. Like it's if so I don't know if you're familiar with like how much that spell does 160 d6 of damage. It's fucking crazy.
Jeez. Okay. What
Like
is this, a cleric, a paladin? Who is this again?
it's my draconic sorcerer, so it's a ninth
Oh,
level
a
spell,
sorcerer.
and it's literally you pull like four meteors down from the sky, and each meteor does 40 d6 of damage.
I have something similar. Mine's a homebrewed spell though for my druid. It's Might of the Druidess, where I have like three things. I forget how much damage. It's like I don't something wild, something D12. I don't fucking know, but woo, we love that.
Yeah. So I mean, we've just been going wild, doing crazy amounts of damage, like just butchering. So the campaign we're doing right now that Chris is running actually takes place in Baldur's Gate. So we've
Oh,
just kind of been going in and out of Baldur's Gate, just like, and we're thieves, so we're like all evil characters in this one. So we've just been like massacring people all throughout this campaign. So it's just with like my kind of curiosity and the way we've been kind of switching it around. I want to go like the complete opposite direction to be like, okay, you guys are all starting out at level one. You're gonna have like seven health. So you're not going to be able to just like rush right into combat. Like you got to be a little more careful. Like even with some of your checks, like if you wanted to not jump off a building, but like you wanted to do like an acrobatics check, if you crit fail and you land on your head, like and you take 5 damage, like your guys maybe only has 2 health left. Like I like that kind of, okay, it's going to be difficult. I want them to think outside the box, like come up with
yeah.
crazy solutions to shit. Like I've told them, if you can explain it to me and it makes some kind of sense, like I'm gonna let you try to do it. Like I want you to come up with random crazy shit to overcome the obstacles I'm gonna throw at you.
Right.
Like it's don't get me wrong, it's been fucking fun doing like throwing eighth level fireballs and being invisible and casting Finger of Death that does like 78
Oh,
plus 30 damage. Like,
Finger of Death is crazy. I had that for the first time the other day. It's crazy. I
yeah,
had it. What if I had it on? On like a warlock. Yeah, it was a warlock, and I was like, a warlock fiend. There we go. Crazy, crazy.
yeah. No, that it was literally our last session was the first time I cast it, and we just described it as like an evil wet willy because the character that I cast it on was like standing right in front of me. So it was like, okay, I take my finger turns necrotic and dead, and I jam it in his ear. I
Oh,
kill him.
the audacity.
So that, like I said, the kind of random outside the box
Mhm.
shit, like that's the kind of stuff that I have a lot of fun with. Um,
Of course.
and then one of the other things that apparently it is a common question for like TTRPGers and D&Ders, which when we started talking crit, we were like, oh, this is a cool question. Like Judah had actually asked us on a podcast that we did, and we're like, oh, we're gonna ask this too. And we asked a couple of people, and like, oh yeah, people ask me that like ask us that all the time. And I was like, oh, well, I'm
Woo.
gonna ask you anyway.
Okay.
Um, but if you were gonna like class yourself as a D&D character, what class would you use?
Druid. Circle of the Moon. Hands down. Oh, and I know no one asked me for the race, but I'd probably be an elf. An elf druid.
Okay, why an elf druid?
I don't know what it's about elves. Someone wanted to say that like I had some sort of like unrecognized kink for elves. Maybe. I don't know. I still haven't recognized it, but there's just something about the pointy ears that just seems like, oh wow, like they know something. And then as far as the druids, just because I feel like that's just the most similar to me, like in my daily life. Like I love the animals. I love the plants. I love green things. I love just being out in nature and just feeling like that's it sounds so cliche, but like that's my religion, communing with like nature itself. You're out there. And I just felt like that's literally what a druid is, and
Yeah.
that'd probably be the one I would choose. So
No, I mean that. Listen, that tracks. Like that
yeah,
definitely
okay.
makes sense. Um, It's funny as you're mentioning that. There's another Instagram page. I don't know if you're. Oh shit, we just lost you. All right, give me 1 second. Let me. If we could just get through one episode of Talking Crit with zero technical difficulties, I think we might be able to like retire Crit One and Done because we've had technical difficulties in every single one of these. One of these days, we're gonna get one of these sessions down um, without having any technical problems. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm just talking to Mars now. See if we can get her back in. But in case anybody that's still watching is interested, the character that, or the, not character, but the class. Okay, let's see if we can get Mars back in here. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, Mars, you good? You hear me?
We're good.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, we're good. No, no worries. I was just saying, if we could get through one of these freaking talking crits without having any kind of technical difficulties. But I mean,
That's show
that,
business.
yeah, that's and that's kind of not that we want to have issues like this, but that's kind of one of the reasons we started this page was just to have it feel like a home game. Like anything that we're doing, like we don't have $1,000 of a production budget, and we're not voice actors. We're a group of friends that
Hmm.
hangs out and enjoys playing D&D and talking about fantasy shit and trying to come up with fun stories that we think are
I feel
interesting.
that so hard. That voice actor part. Because I wanted to start a little podcast. My friend was like, well, I don't know if I'm a voice actor. And I'm like, can you shut the fuck up? Because no one said anything about that. Be yourself.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And it's been fun kind of getting into that aspect of it too.
Hmm.
Like Austin was the only one, or not the only one, but Austin was the first one to kind of lean into some of the like voicing characters and voicing NPCs and stuff like that. The first campaign that I did that I DM'd, I didn't really do any voices. I just kind of narrated the way that I thought in my head that this NPC responds or what they do. Or there was like a ship captain. His name was Captain Dieselbeard. So whenever he said anything, I was like, he was just like a big burly guy with a big
Wait,
beard.
wait. Can we hear it? Can we hear the whole thing? Captain Dieselbeard?
Well, so there was no voice. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I didn't get
okay.
into any voices, but there was I've like tried to describe as much as I could. Like
Okay.
he's weathered down. He always looks tired. He gets up behind the sail. He's gonna lean back. He's gonna stroke his beard, and he's gonna like aggressively tell you. And I would just go into it because I didn't even really know that that was a part of it at that at that point.
I
But
am a
we've
sucker for voices, honestly. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I will make fun of like my own voice and like anyone else. Like someone's like trying to do an accent they're not used to. I'm like, I get it. Like I'm the same boat. But then when someone does do an accent, like our DM, I'm like, holy shit, that's nice. Like this is really immersive right now, guys.
So the first like act like voice or whatever that I did was for Judah from One Shot D&D when me and
Uh huh.
Austin did characters in his campaign. And we were like playing we were like Templar Knights, but the character that I created I was a like a tiefling Path of the Zealot barbarian, but I was just like he's gonna be super Italian. Like hardcore like so his name was Fabrizio Aniguali Dottieri, and that was the way I voiced like the whole one shot was if Fabrizio came into a room, he would talk to you like this. And if you want to come up against his halberd, he would slash it across your face, and that's what you have to deal with. And that
That
was
is
just
so good.
it was, but I mean, like you said, Long Island, Jersey Shore, like we grew up, or my
Stop.
family's all like. For me, that was easy to get into because I grew up listening to Broken Italian like
That
my
was
whole
off the
life.
live, sir. You can't break.
So that was easy to get into. And like Austin's character
Yeah.
that he's voicing now is it sounds a lot like Sean Connery. So he gets into like his Thaddeus voice. And it was funny because he was good about it. Like he told us before the campaign, he's like, hey, this is kind of what I want Thaddeus to sound like. He's this kind of like stuck up thief and is thinks about himself very highly and he's gonna talk like this. And the first time he like did the voice for us, we were like, you got to tone it back a little bit. 'Cause we were like, I don't think we can listen to just straight Sean Connery for like 6 to 8 or 9 months, however long this campaign is going to be. So he
No,
like kind of
I love that.
dialed it back a little bit. I wish I could bring him on, but anybody wants, any of our sessions, anyone wants to tune in, they're all on YouTube. They stay on Twitch for a little while, but our whole campaign's on
Yeah.
YouTube. You can hear Austin doing his like watered down Sean Connery version for Thaddeus Undersnatch.
Oh, I love that. Again, a sucker for accents. Because I feel like with our campaigns, like we always try to start an accent, and then the next session we're all just kind of dropping. We don't record any of our sessions, but we start with an accent and then it's gone. And it's horrible because there's always like that one person, it's me. I'm that one person who is dragging that accent, trying to like keep it, but we're losing it a bit. We're going from Scottish to Irish. Now we're Jamaican a little bit. I don't know. Then we're just back to normal.
So it's funny that you mentioned the Scottish thing. Oh, shit, we lost her again. All right, let me see. Wait. Okay, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, dropped you out again. Um, with the So that's Austin in the comments. He said he actually has watched videos like on how to do accents for our D&D
Me
sessions.
too. Me too, Austin.
So I never got into it that far. It was more just like, at least for the Italian one, the first one that I did was like literally South Shore, Long Island. It's everybody's fucking is Italian, so it was easy to
Everyone's
get back to.
Italian, so
Um, but with the Scottish thing you were just saying, I feel like that's another
mm.
go-to that people try to throw out, and not everybody is good at it. But you just
it's
hear it so much in
no.
movies.
It's so hard. I think I only have like a good like three pre-programmed sentences that sound fully Scottish. All dwarfs are Scottish. Oh, for sure.
So that's Austin when he was running his campaign. Every dwarvish character had the Scottish accent, and it was funny because the first couple times, and they were all blacksmiths. So whenever he would say
Of course.
ingots, he messed it up the first. Maybe it might have only been the first time he said it, but he called them ignits, and like we never let him live it down. So going forward, any any blacksmith or dwarf or any character with a Scottish accent, they all say ignits, and they start to sound like the Lucky Charms, like Elf.
I
That's But again, like that's just the kind of like the fun shit that ends up happening
yeah.
throughout the course of a session.
No, I love it too. And thankfully, like I feel like again, this could all go for most of the D&D community where even if you're doing like a really shitty accent, no one's going to call you out on it and you're just going to
Right.
keep doing your shitty accent, which is it a blessing and a curse, I suppose.
No, 100%. But that was why I was happy when Austin like came to us beforehand and was like, "Yo, this is the accent I'm doing for this character. Like, what do you guys think?" And we were kind of like, just like tweak it down like a notch, just so it wasn't like crazy over the top Sean Connery, where we were like, "That's gonna be a lot to listen to for 8 or 9 months."
Shoot, if you guys ever do like a one shot and I'm in New York, let me know. I want to come see this Sean Connery accent. I'm curious.
So I will say we're getting closer to the end, but we've had one in-person guest come do a session. And Dungeon Mother Kier, who shout out Kier, I was telling she did our last episode of Talking Crit. She's in
Mm.
Malaysia. We zoomed her in. She did a session with us a few sessions back, and it ended up working really well. I mean, it was a little tricky because we do everything in person live, but we just kind of
Mm.
like stitch her like face live, just kind of like how we're doing now. Like like anybody that's watching the screen, I'm like moving Mars's face around the talking crypt background right now. That's that's what we did with Kier. We just kind of put her right into the room, so it was like she was sitting right next to me and Matt.
Mm.
Um, so we can ask Chris. I don't know if he's gonna want to bring anybody in this late in the campaign, but if you'd be down for that, we're definitely down to have guests and you get to interact with Thaddeus firsthand.
I mean, let me know, or just a one shot. But I do have a Scottish accent ready to go. I would do it now, but I feel like now's not the right moment as I'm staring at the camera. It's not now. The right moment won't come.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, do you have any other questions? I mean, just for me about us, or I mean, anything really?
You know what? Yeah. What was the moment with D&D where you were like, you know what? This is a game that I'm going to come back to.
What do you mean?
So I guess in that retrospect, like when I first played D&D, it's not something that like I particularly enjoyed, and it wasn't until I came back to it and I was like, wow, I love this. Was there like a moment that you were playing D&D where you were like, this is actually a game that I'm absolutely obsessed with? This is a vibe. Like, what was the turning point where you were like, this is it?
Okay, so 100%. It was the first
Okay.
session.
Okay.
Because my first session was as a DM. The first time I ever played was I
What?
was DMing.
What? We need to get into that really quick.
So we didn't so Chris had only ever played like Chris's first experience was sounded like what you had described. Because he had told me
Okay.
that he like tried playing in college and he was like it wasn't very engaging. He was like it took a long time and it was kind of confusing and like nobody really brought him along and explained it to him.
Hmm, hmm.
So he was like, "Yeah, I tried it once, I didn't love it," and that was kind of it. He
Right.
only got back into it because I had told him like, "Hey, my buddy, my brother, we want to try this out. Do you want to do it?" And he was down to try. Um, but yeah, like literally, it was me, and it wasn't even Matt at that point. Actually, it was just me, Chris, and Austin, like sitting at my kitchen table. And we had talked about it. And we were like, okay, like if we're gonna try to do this, like somebody has to be the DM. And I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. Like I was in English,
It's
like I was an English lit major. Like I do like writing. I like stories. I was like, fuck it, let me try and do
always the English majors, by the way. Always.
it. So if I mean if Dungeon Samster's in here too, he's a big literary literature guy. Um,
English majors are like poli sci for whatever reason.
yeah, I mean, that makes sense too. But so I had a lot of fun putting together like a scenario and like writing it out. And it was basically, it started, they were like these travelers and they took on a mercenary contract from like a demon. And the demon put them like in this room and they had to like talk to these different people. And I like had a little skirmish set up for them. And then like there was like a simple boss like at the end of like this building that they were in. Um, they ran into like this centaur and it was funny because halfway through like the monologue that the centaur was going to give, I was looking at the description of it, like the stat block, and I was looking at the languages, and it didn't know common. So like halfway through the monologue, I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Okay, you guys actually don't know anything that he's saying, and he's just to you it just sounds like blah, 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 blah." And they were just like laughing, but they like waxed this centaur that I had set up for them in like two turns of combat. So immediately I was like, shit, like, okay, if I'm gonna like it just kind of got the gears turning, like, okay, I need to think about how I'm gonna plan combat for the next session. Like I need to
Right.
think about other it just immediately started like getting my brain kicked into high gear like for like building the world out bigger. Because it that first session was really just they got brought into this like mansion kind of house. They got introduced to like this demon in like the foyer when they walk in. They took this contract and they had to just kind of make their way through this building and then leave and then they were going to kind of go out into the world. And they we got through it. I think we got through the whole session in like 2 hours or something, which now most of our sessions are like 3.5 to 4 hours or more than 4 hours. Um, but to me, it was just like maybe like the troubleshooting aspect of being a DM, if that's like the right way to put it.
Hmm.
That really got like the wheels turning. Like, okay, how can I do this better? How can I make this make more sense? How can I make this combat more interesting or without it being too over the top complicated? But yeah, that
So
was.
with that being said, do you prefer DMing or do you want to be a player again?
I'm very much looking forward to DMing again. Now
Yeah.
that
Okay. Good.
I've like because the first time I did it, like I said, I had no experience. It was literally just like winging it like I would prep as much as I could, and then it was just like wing it and see what happens. And but still like trying to frame the story. The campaign that I'm like preparing for the guys is going to be very much like open world sandbox, like just drop you in,
Skyrim.
yeah, drop you in the world and like you guys interact with it and figure out what's going to happen. Like
Yeah.
there's an over like an overarching end goal that, I mean, even if it is an end goal, like there's different ways that they could go about doing what they want to do. Basically, it's without getting too much into it before we introduce it, but it's going to take place on like a dying planet, and they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with this planet that they are inhabiting.
That's so sad.
But and to me, it's like whatever you guys can come up with to how you're gonna deal with that issue, can
Yeah.
you tell me. Like off the top of my head, like I wouldn't know what the answer to that would be, which I like that part of it.
Right, of course. I mean, I feel like that thinking outside the box is almost let me just give you some context for what I'm about to say. With our current D&D campaign, we had a very predetermined set of things we were supposed to follow. But one of our players, my boyfriend, who also plays with us, he put a ring on that he was never supposed to put on, which changed the entire course of like our game. And so what I'm essentially saying is that I can only hope that something similar happens in your campaign, and so everyone's world will be rocked and new challenges rise, and it will be something we all overcome together.
Yeah, that's no, I mean that's 100%. That's what I want. Like I want to put
Yes.
pressure on them to come up with random shit to to like figure
Yeah.
out what they want to do. Where it's and it's just funny because it's been cool, kind of like me figuring out my way through my first campaign, and then
Mhm.
then Austin ran the next campaign, and Austin had never DM'd before, and I had never been a player before, so that was a lot of fun, just getting to be a
Yeah.
player and getting to interact with the world that Austin had set up. And like Austin started doing voices for his NPCs and stuff, and it's like while we're playing through his campaign, it's like, all right, shit, that was cool. Like I'm gonna take some of that, and if something
Mhm.
else happened that way, it's like I don't know if I would have done it that way. Maybe I'll do that differently. And then we got through his campaign, and now we're doing Chris, and Chris DM's completely different than Austin DM'd. So it's
Right.
been fun getting to take like bits and pieces, and like I'm definitely ready to run another one.
You do voices, asshole.
I'm gonna do voices. Then I will say that for Chris, like Chris picked that like Chris has done voices for every fucking character that we've run into, like without fail throughout our campaign, and like
Oh
jumped into
man.
it head first. Like I mean, really every character that we run into has, and
You
some
could
of them,
just do like varying degrees of like the Long Island accent, you know? Like, are we from Manhattan? Are we from, I don't know, like the specifics, so I could be wrong. Like, are you from the Bronx? Are you,
the entire
they have
population of,
accents like that specific?
no, no, yeah, they
You
definitely do.
do?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that would just be funny. Like the whole population of this planet just sounds like the fucking Jersey Shore. That I could
Oh.
do for sure. Like I could definitely, but that would also probably drive the guys nuts.
I feel like I could, with confidence, also do a Jersey Shore accent. Just saying. That's it
Let's hear
though.
it.
I don't know how specific it is. What?
Let's hear it. Jersey Shore.
It's gonna be so stereotypical. I'm getting coffee. I'm walking the dog. I don't know. Like I can do it, but it might not be.
You could do it, but you gotta. It's coffee and walking the dog.
Yeah.
It's
All right. Here
it's
we go. I'm gonna like do a fake phone call because I'm shy. So I was fucking walking the dog the other day, right? She fucking comes up to me and I say, "Excuse me, bitch. What the fuck? Nah, nah. I'm walking here. All right. Are we done? Cool." And that's it. I will not do that again because it was horrible.
that was
Everyone
definitely
started. Ah, yo, should I have done that? I am walking the dog here. Fucking spilled
that's
my
not bad.
coffee on Jordan.
It's not bad.
No.
Really all it is you just have to drop all the vowels. So anytime you say anything, coffee or walking or Long Island or dog or anything, it's just
No, it's
that like
horrible.
scooped
My
out vowel.
my father-in-law, he's from, where is he from? I think he's from New York or Rhode Island. I don't know. But anyways, he'll leave me voicemails sometimes on my phone where it sounds like, "Hey, sweetie, it's Ron. Have you seen my son? Because I think he's dead." Kind of vibes. So there's
Uh,
that. And that's about the only. Okay, that and like a very mediocre Scottish accent is like all I really got. But
well,
don't
that's
ask me for that.
well, if you ever jump into a like you do one like a one episode guest appearance, you and Austin can do Scottish accents together.
All right, perfect. I will say I do think mine's. I don't think it's that mediocre. I'm being humble. I think it's pretty good. So please, Austin, our Scottish accents 1v1.
I would definitely enjoy seeing that because I might just be biased because I've heard Austin's before so many times that to me it just sounds like a caricature. At this point, it doesn't sound like a real Scottish person. It
I
just
mean,
like it.
mine very well maybe as well.
Good name. All right. Listen, dude, I'm happy that you started doing it because it's gotten all of us kind of into it. We got to get Matt to do some kind of voice at some point because Matt is the only one in our group that is not going to DM just because he won't. He refuses to. He just likes playing characters. And all of his characters up to this point have sounded like Matt. So we're going to try to, at some point, get him to have a character that at least sounds a little bit not like Matt, but
Oh
we'll
man,
see.
I mean, aside from the voices, that's a bit how I feel too. Like I know my DM got me like a book for Christmas on how to DM, which I took as a sign, but I'm not grabbing the torch. I don't know what it is about it. I love being a player and I'm intimidated by like the amount of things a DM has to do, and I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. Which is why I think it's so crazy that you did it like after a year. I can only hope to do it like in the next year because I'm just so nervous about it. I feel like I wouldn't even know what I'm doing. It's crazy.
You definitely can. I feel like me and Chris definitely look at it differently because Chris like preps everything. Like Chris prepares very thoroughly for all of our sessions. I'm kind of the opposite where it's I like just winging it and
Me
coming
too.
up
I
with
just show
shit on
up.
the fly. Yeah,
Mhm.
you could DM then. Just DM and
Oh
just
no!
wing it and see what happens. No, I'm saying that's how I like to
Oh
DM. I prep a little bit. I do most of my prep like at the beginning of the campaign. Like everything is going to be all set up, and then once we get rolling, it's just going to kind of be open, and whatever happens, I enjoy like reacting on the spot and like, oh, okay, you want to do that? Like, fuck it, do it. Cool. I'll figure out what happens on the back end later.
dang. Maybe. I gotta
But
think about it. My DM is convinced that because I was a theater kid, that I am just meant for D&D, and I feel like that's a lot of the same thing for a lot of us. Anyone who was in theater is probably playing D&D.
so we were actually the opposite. We were like all athletes
Ah!
that
Okay.
just got into this. Um, but there's another Long Island D&D podcast. I'm gonna shout them out. Called Encores and Ability Scores, which I don't know if you've bumped up against them. They do all of their campaigns are based on theater productions. So like they did Alice in Wonderland. I forget which one they're doing right now, but I know they said that they've done West Side Story. They've done Shakespeare
Oh,
before. Like
interesting. Okay.
yeah, and but they're all like adult theater kids. So like their
Yeah.
voice acting is like over the top, like on point. Like it's very cool. Like they're all super nice. They're also from Long Island, which makes them better than everybody else. But besides besides that, um, but like having that kind of theater background, like it definitely helps.
For
This is
sure.
the character that I'm playing now is the first like character in a full campaign that I've done a voice for, and I couldn't really think about what I wanted to do. So he basically sounds like Batman from the Dark Knight movies. like, like has that super deep like my name is Dangor Malice and this is what I'm going to do. and it's been like an entire campaign of talking like that. So the after the first set, like I was losing my voice after the first couple sessions because I wasn't used to talking like that.
Oh
So
man, I was gonna say that must be so annoying if you have like a whole monologue.
I had to
No.
get used to it. Like I had to start warming up my voice before our sessions because I was like I'm like blowing my voice out doing that fucking voice
Just like shooting
beforehand.
olive oil.
Yeah. Shit. All right. So I mean this has been really cool. Again, anybody that's still hanging out watching gets to check this out. It's Mars from Weeping Wick. If there's anything that you want to mention before we get going, Mars, about your candles, about your Instagram, or anything really.
Oh, for sure. I mean, just something I do have in the works right now. You can't see it right now, but up there is actually the tester for fall. So I'm really excited. I'm happy with it. So that's definitely the scent I'm releasing. And then aside from that, um, Chris and my friend wait, hold on, I came out wrong. Chris and I, there we go, the Forever DM on Instagram. We are currently working on the new Arcavios line, which is a candle line based on his campaign in D&D. Not released just yet because we are trying to get everything about the cultures in certain regions down to a T, but that is something to keep an eye out for. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys.
That's awesome. That's so
Yeah,
fucking cool. I'm
it
je-
is fun.
jealous. I'm jealous about that they're gonna have a whole line of scents for like a campaign. That's such a fucking cool idea.
Oh, it's
Um,
so fun, but I feel like I'm just dropping in as a tourist because there's so many things about this realm that I don't know. So I'm like, all right, walk me through it. Like, what's the vibes? What are we grabbing for food? Like in this realm, right? Because
right.
that's important to the story.
That's very fucking cool. You're running a
Hmm.
giveaway right now too, right? Is that still
I
going or?
am. It is. It closes on the 30th. We're giving away our three scents that came out for summer. So it's a collection of Blacksmith, Super Smoky, Fruit Witch, sounds like it's very fruity, and then Cloud Skin, which smells like rain. So that is completely free to you. There's no cost to enter. You just have to follow me and follow Chris, the Ferber DM on Instagram, repost and like the post. And you can actually tag people for like additional entries. And yeah, you're entered into the giveaway. That was a
All right.
mouthful. Sorry.
No, it's no problem. So yeah, definitely check out I'm gonna say it wrong now. Weeping Wick. Mars,
Yes.
thank you for hanging out. This was fourth episode of Talking Crit. We're continuing our campaign, Crit One and Done. The Thieves Gambit episode 14 is going to be on September 5th. I think that's next Friday. So definitely follow us here on Twitch, follow us on Instagram. We'll see you guys soon. Later.
Bye, guys.